Hey buddy. Psst. Yes, you. How are you feeling? Yeah, I know. It sucks seeing John having so much fun at a party you are not invited to. Do you want to get rid of it? You sure can. Are you ready? Are you ready? Awesome, let's do it. I know, having FOMO sucks. I had it in the past and I do fall into it once in a while. Your parents have it, your friends have it, everyone has it, but few of them know that's possible to reduce it and in theory completely eliminate it. So let's begin our investigation. For the ones that don't know, FOMO is an acronym for fear of missing out, and it describes that infamous feeling of anxiety that arises when there's an exciting or interesting event occurring somewhere and of course you are not invited. The word has been becoming popular with the rise of social media, but people have been feeling FOMO for thousands of years, probably not calling it that way though. FOMO arises when we feel we're being left out of our social group. This fear may seem irrational today because there's nothing that can physically harm us if you're not with friends having a good time, but this was not the case for cavemen. So to understand FOMO, we need to look into our past. Our current psychology is not just a result of modern trends, but it's also shaped by our ancestors' environment and circumstances. If a fellow caveman was left out of his or her social group, he or she could literally die. You sure can imagine it's pretty difficult to defend yourself against a tiger or a mammoth. So with time, our brains learned that being alone and left out was literally dangerous. So in order to avoid this type of situations, it created a fear to prevent it, and that's how FOMO came to exist. So even though we live in completely different times, our brain and psychology didn't have time to catch up and to be up to date. In other words, we are running around with the mind that's working on an outdated software. And if that's not bad in and of itself, the internet and social media exacerbates this problem by putting in front of our eyes live pictures and videos of our friends having fun while you are there watching Stranger Things. But hey, don't worry. It gets worse. The relationship between FOMO and social media is symbiotic. When we see our friends having fun without us, we naturally feel FOMO. And when we have FOMO, we tend to see what our friends and other people are doing. These two feed themselves and create a vicious cycle that can be pretty hard to get out. The good thing is that's definitely not impossible. Here are some ways I discovered that can be very effective at dealing with FOMO and perhaps even overcome it. Stop using social media. This may sound trivial, but it's not. Many of us complain that we have FOMO but keep mindlessly scrolling our Facebook feeds. This reminds me of a story about a monkey that thought that his hand was stuck into a jar, but in reality he couldn't take it out because his hand was holding the banana. We hate and avoid feeling FOMO, but in reality we engage, mostly unconsciously, in behaviors that are not helping our situation. That's why as a first step, it's crucial to reduce the amount of social media to the minimum, especially when we are feeling FOMO and crave to see what other people are doing. It is just gonna make the whole situation worse. What you see is not what's really happening. We crave to be accepted and liked, so it's natural that most people upload and post the best version of themselves in social media. Almost every post is about having fun, looking beautiful, being in eccentric places, and so on. But that just doesn't reflect the whole truth. Everything has its positive and negative aspects, but of course we just want to show the filled part of our glass. So be careful not to fall into the trap of believing that others' life are amazing while yours is nah. Because life is not as beautiful as we want to portray it. Start a hobby and stay productive. How can you have FOMO if you're completely concentrated on what you're doing? How could you be missing out if you're working towards something you find meaningful and fulfilling? It's impossible. By engaging in activities that you find entertaining and creating a life worth living, the fear of missing out becomes irrelevant. This can take the form of reading, learning an instrument or something new, or even starting a project of yours. Enjoy where you are. You probably heard the phrase that happiness is only found in the present moment, or read a book like The Power of Now. But we don't usually realize that the same concept can be applied not just to time, but to space. Happiness is not found out there somewhere else. It can only be found here where you are, right now. So by consciously trying to enjoy our present situation, whether that's watching TV, studying, or just being at home bored, we undermine the usual feeling of FOMO that usually arises. Meditation will help a lot here, so that's why I created a video so you can check it out and learn how to meditate. Wherever you go, there you are. I love this phrase because it points out the fact that no matter where we are, it is us that's being there. We carry our thoughts, moods, and feelings wherever we go, whether that's a party, a new house, or even a new country. Being somewhere else is not gonna fundamentally change who we are. So that's why it's important to work on ourselves so we're not feeling FOMO in the first place, instead of trying to resolve it. So that's it. I hope you found these strategies useful, but before leaving I want to share something to you. While doing research and thinking about this topic, I realized that FOMO seemed to be a small part of a bigger dynamic. As humans, we are always feeling we are missing out, and not just when our friends are partying and we are not. We unconsciously believe we would be better off elsewhere or in the future. Whether this takes the shape of being successful in our business, having a beautiful boyfriend or girlfriend, living in another country, or being with our friends. But that is not true. How many times in the past have we achieved some goal or bought some product that we believe would make us happy and forever fulfilled, only to find out a few days later, of course, everything is still the same. But the funny thing is that we still keep falling into delusion. Just by trying to be happy and enjoying where we are now can be very illuminating. I tend to fall into this trap very often, so I just wanted to share something for you all to consider. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe here if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to keep watching, here's a video you'll sure enjoy. And lastly, I created a small ebook called A Brief Guide to Mastering Oneself. I'll leave the link in the description. See you later.